How do we find the North Star in the sky without using a telephone or some sort of a sky map on your phone? How do we do it? Well, it's a lot easier than we might think. Now, it's funny because a few months ago, I was with somebody and I was teaching my stepson how to find the North Star. And it's very simple. Now, what you do is you have to find the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. And if you are in the northern hemisphere, you'll easily be able to find the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. Now, even if you're in a city and you can't see any stars, then you can't see them. But if you can see some stars, you're most likely going to be able to see some of the stars in the Big and Little Dipper because you have some of the brightest stars in those constellations. Now, what you want to do is find the Big Dipper, and you want to find the top. The Big Dipper, it looks like a ladle. And the top of the ladle, the top of that cup, you want to find that star, the top of that cup, that ladle cup. That star is called Maruk. Now, when you find that star, all you have to do is find the Little Dipper, which is a miniature version. I'm sure you all know what the Big and Little Dipper look like, and find the handle, the end of the handle on the Little Dipper. And you go like this. You connect your hands together, and you take your pinky and connect it in like that, in the sky, obviously, up like that, to the cup, the top of the cup on the Big Dipper, and then the Little Dipper handle will connect. When you do this, that's about the distance. And if you connect those two, that star, that star at the end of the Little Dipper on the handle is Polaris. That is your North Star. Now, I was teaching him how to do this and showing him, and somebody came outside with their phone and they were looking up and they were like, the North Star's over there. I was like, what do you mean? It's right over here. And they were like, no, it's over there. My phone says it's over there. It's like, I don't care what your phone says. My eyes are looking at the sky and I can tell where it is because I know where it is. I don't need a phone to tell me. People need to stop trusting in a lot of this nonsense, because when you look, first of all, when you use these sky maps and you look through the phones and up at the sky, they're not accurate. They're off. For one thing, they're off. I've never seen an accurate app, honestly, perfectly accurate. They're off. Trust your eyes. Learn how to find these stars, because these stars prove that we live on a non-rotating Earth. And if we live on a non-rotating Earth, there's a pretty good chance it's not a ball flying through the galaxy. Okay? Here's the reason. Because what we actually have are constellations, sets of stars in the sky that have been rotating around us for centuries, for thousands of years, for millennia. And it's the same constellations. I know some people like to say, oh no, the constellations have changed. No. The depictions of what the constellations are may have changed. Other countries have different versions of the zodiac, because the zodiac goes back. Do you know what the word zodiac means? The word zodiac is tied to the word kingdom, which is in the Bible. And the word kingdom means zodiac. Zodiac means a circle of animals. Kingdom is tied into that as well through language. Now, what we need to understand is that this circle of animals that has been perfectly rotating around us for thousands and thousands of years, in the direct center of that circle of animals, that zodiac, that kingdom, is what? The North Star. The North Star is the center. And a lot of people like to say the North Star hasn't always been the North Star, but it was discovered in 69 AD by Claudius Ptolemy. All right? And the mainstream version says we weren't able to use it for thousands of years as a North Star because it wasn't a true North Star, a true pole star. But they did name it the Pole Star. So that's interesting, isn't it? I think it's more likely that it's always been the Pole Star. You can't really prove that it hasn't been. As a matter of fact, you can't prove at all that it hasn't been. Every 26,000 years, allegedly, you have a wobble. The Earth tilts and it wobbles on its axis. No. What most likely happens is every 26,000 years, something probably happens, but it happens to do with the stars and the constellations in the sky. It doesn't have to do with the Earth spinning as a magical ball spinning through space and wobbling, and doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with the constellations. And it's the coming of an age. The Bible talks about the coming of an age. And it's all about the constellations shifting. The ages, okay, shifting. Now, constellations, that age, each constellation that we live through, as they circle around us, it takes approximately 2,126 years to shift, where we are now looking at a different constellation. And that constellation is in front of us. You can tell this on the spring equinox. If you look in the eastern direction, whatever constellation you're looking at, right before the sun comes up is the age that we're living in. Right now, it happens to be Pisces. However, we're coming out of Pisces and entering Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. The Bible talks about this. This is why Jesus has two of his disciples go into town and look for the man holding the pitcher of water, because the man holding a pitcher of water is Aquarius. It's a sign. It's a message. There are hidden messages in the Bible explaining this. So learn to read them. All right, but we have been massively tricked, massively fooled. All right, the constellations have never changed. They've been rotating around us forever. They are on the walls of cathedrals. They're in the walls of caves and pyramids, on the temple of Esna, thousands of years old. The constellations, the same as they are today. So I love when people tell me that they've changed, because historically, if you look into it, they have not. And anyone that says they have is just repeating something they've heard, and they've never actually read about it. So I highly recommend stop repeating what you hear and actually do some research, please. I love you all, and of course this is entertainment. If you want to learn something for real, go to my website where I offer tons of free information, withthesun33.com. Thank you. I love you all.